We are being asked to graph the solutions of the system x less than or equal to negative 2y and x greater than negative 1. So let's start with the first inequality. And remember, the first step in graphing an inequality is to consider the related equation. So I'm going to change the less than or equal to an equal to. And then if it's easier for you in y equals mx plus b form, you can divide both sides of the equation by negative 2, and you get y equals negative 1 half x, which of course is the same as y equals negative 1 half x plus 0. So since the y-intercept is 0, the graph goes through the origin. And then since the slope is negative 1 half, we go down 1 and to the right 2. And we can do that as many times as we wish to get the line we're interested in. Now notice that this line is going to be graphed solid because of the or equal to signs. If there was no or equal to sign, this would have been a dotted line. Now we have to determine which side of the line to shade. For that, we use a test point. Remember, the test point can be any point that's not on the line. Typically, we try and use 0, 0 as a test point, but we can't use that here because it's on the line. So instead, I'm going to use 1, 1 as my test point. If I plug in 1 for x and 1 for y in the original inequality that we're given, I get 1 is less than or equal to negative 2 times 1, and negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. 1 less than or equal to negative 2 is a false statement. And remember, when your test point gives you a false statement, that means you shade the side of the line not containing the test point. So we're going to shade to the lower left of this line. Now, our second line is x equals negative 1. And this is very easy to graph because we learned that when an equation has just an x in it and not a y, it means it's a vertical line. But remember, this vertical line needs to be drawn as a dotted or dashed line because there is no or equal to sign. Now, to determine which side of it to shade, you really don't need a test point. It should be obvious which side of the line is going to have the x's that are bigger than negative 1. That would be to the right of the line, would be where it's greater than negative 1. And so now we're ready to shade the solutions to this inequality or system of inequalities. We want to shade all the points that are to the right of the brown line and below the green line. And so these would be the solutions to the inequality. These points are all on the correct side of the brown line and the correct side of the green line, and those would be the solutions to our system of inequalities.